Howdy, banger pals. Blayne Smith welcoming you to another Overkill Reviews, Bangers Weekly Metal Review Show, and you could probably see this one coming. To the surprise of absolutely no one, I will be talking about Blackbraid's new album called Blackbraid III, out today, August 8th, as an independent release. Look at that. Blackbraid came out of nowhere in 2022, both literally and figuratively, in it being a one-man black metal project from the Adirondack Mountains of New York, as well as it being Skagasoa's first band. He immediately grabbed people's attentions with the quality of the black metal he was making, the Native American elements, and let's be honest, he's a hot guy, and people like that. He could be selling bottles of Blackbraid waterfall bath water. I stole that joke from my Twitch chat, just so you know. He popped off so hard, the New York Times wrote a piece about him in 2023. I was on this from the jump just to sound like a complete hipster. I featured the first album on Metal Monthly.
Really great, really unique sounding, and then you mix that with the black metal, and you get an absolutely fantastic record.
I had John as a guest on Twitch, where he said I could call him John, which is what I will do for this review because I don't speak word good. I reviewed Blackbraid II.
I think this is a fantastic record. I think we're going to be hearing about Blackbraid for a while.
So, of course, here I am for 3. Is it all I want it to be, or will I decide in hipster fashion that this is too mainstream for me now, man?
Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Let's start by checking what I didn't like about the last record and seeing if I can say the same thing about this one, because I'm a dick. One was length. Last album was too long. This one's almost 15 minutes shorter, so attaboy, John, you gone and done it. But even more than that, it feels the right length because there isn't a song that doesn't belong. On the last record, there was a track that sounded too black and thrash compared to the rest of the record, so it stood out awkwardly, just like me in school. Well, that's gone, and he's disposed of the body by chopping it up and fertilizing the rest of the album with it. There's little bits and pieces of it here and there, but it feels like it's been absorbed into the thing more appropriately, like in the high-energy parts of the 2 singles. The other thing that I wanted was more folk in it, despite him saying he's trying to make black metal not folk. This time there might be less folk, but the impression I get is that he's now confident in the sound of his black metal, as the sound of the folk is just better integrated in the black metal, whereas before there were harder lines between the two. So whether there is more or less, I didn't time it because who cares exactly, it has more of a punch now, and again, that's all that really matters. All I've said here comes through on God of Black Blood, which does it all with great folk elements in the middle and a wild close, which I will play for you now. It's not a movie, it's audio. It hasn't been a quiet 3 years for Blackbraid, even ignoring that he wrote 3 records in that time. Big tours, big festivals, and playing big slots on those festivals. He ain't at the bottom of the poster. I ain't taking out the old jeweler's loop to try and read the logo. I'm sure that has supercharged his development because this is definitely a headliner's record. The last 2 records had a natural album feel in big part because folk interludes are sort of a cheat code to achieve that. This one is an incredibly well-constructed whole piece. After a folky intro that is importantly music, so I have no issues with it, the first 2 songs are the big bombastic singles. And you better have real confidence in what you're putting out if you're opening it with 2 singles. But after another little folk ditty, gotta start pronouncing the T's in that word. Don't want to say ditty anymore. Maybe we'll just cut that word out together. What's a synonym for a short, simple song? All right, okay. But after another little folk R. Kelly, what the hell? That one's even worse. Okay. After that, we get the track I just played for you with that powerful close. And as I've already said, there are no duds as the album goes on. Even the album cover, dude. He kept his loyalty to Adrian Baxter, who did the great Border. We love a loyal homie around here. But then he also goes out and gets a sick Adam Burke and slaps the two of them together. What the hell? It would be easy to show you how amazing the record is with some blazing fast sections, but just look at how well he commands attention even when things are slow. As if that all wasn't enough, the folk isn't just better integrated, the folk itself is better too. I enjoy Dusk as a nice, quick tee-up for the first track on the album. The Earth is Weeping is atmosphere building with a simple guitar part and fire crackling, animal sounds, wind whooshing. It's simple, but enough is also happening so it doesn't sound like it's off a Halloween sound effects CD. Track 8, whose name is way too long to remember. I ain't reading all that. If the title section of your song has an ellipses in my Media Monkey player, your song title is too long. I probably shouldn't be doing that like a stereotype of a black comedian, though I would love a Cat Williams joke about my MP3 player software. I wonder if he uses Media Monkey or he's, what is it, a Music Bee guy. It's got a dense acoustic guitar part that's constantly changing. Incredibly, I like one of the short folk songs as much as any of the other songs on here, and I hate short people. Traversing the Forest of Eternal Dusk is maybe the most complex piece of folk he's written. The core acoustic part is fantastic, and that flute sound is never not going to be able to move some serious weight, but after starting with guitar, the acoustic variety, and then layering in flute, he then adds guitar of the electric variety and does a little bit of the wee like at the start of The Dying Death of a Sacred Stag, which is a super sick, even furthering the impression of better integration of folk with the black, and it's all one happy family. So I've said he's improved on everything I wanted. Does that mean this is a perfect record? My fourth 5 out of 5 I've ever given on the channel? It's me, so I can probably always find a thing to whine about. But we ain't splitting hairs at this point. We're splitting graphene, if that's been possible. There is certainly nothing wrong with the production, but for my tastes, my special little tastes, me, num, 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 I believe a project like this would benefit from at least a bit more washed out atmospheric production. He doesn't necessarily have to go as far as this, but for me, if it was recorded like a Nun record, I'd be in heaven or hell. Duel 1, let's rock. I can't say heaven or hell without thinking about Guilty Gear. Scroll the damn teleprompter down. On the less opinion side, records ending with cover tracks just ain't a great idea. It's fine as a bonus track, but unless they're incredibly special, I think they actually harm a record by robbing it of an impactful conclusion. It's a good cover, but as the close of your best album to date? Nah. So when I said no songs shouldn't be on here, I meant that he wrote. Songs other people wrote, you don't need them, dude. You're doing it all yourself. Put it as a bonus on a Digipack CD or something. Throw those CD perverts a bone for buying the dumbest format currently available. Physical copies of digital files? Woohoo! But mainly, I still feel like he's got an even more special record in him. That's not to say this isn't a special record. It very much is. It's just the distance he's come from the first record until now is crazy, especially being is under 3 years. The first record came out end of August. This one's coming out start of August. What? Blackbraid still feels like a work in progress in a way that's made being a fan since the beginning awesome, because you're seeing a guy improve something in real time and very quick real time. The first record was a proof of concept, the second record expanded on the idea, and this record has fine-tuned it, which just makes me feel his fourth record is going to be iconic. I know he said he's not trying to be genre-defining, he's just going to try and make black metal he likes, but he might not have a choice at this rate. just like Panopticon is the North American folk plus black metal project, Blackbraid is in the same position for black metal with Native American folk influences. Neither is the first or only guy to do it, but they've just become the guy. And just like with Austin, this is exactly what you're hoping for out of that guy too. He's a cool dude who's constantly improving the project while keeping true to himself. I know it's not technically part of the music or anything, but he's still releasing these independently. What? Guaranteed every label is trying to drive a garbage truck full of money up to his door. It's metal, so not like a full-sized garbage truck, more like one of these little garbage trucks I saw in Japan. Small, but a lot of money could fit in there. Every record, less negative, more positive to say. Absolutely thrilled. 4.5 out of 5 deer skulls. What do you think about the record? It's I'm very happy. I'm very stoked for my pal Blackbraid when he sent me the first record. He even sent me a little feather with it. So heartwarming. What's your vibe? What's your feeling? How you feeling about Blackbraid? Are you pumped? You go into the tour this fall? Let me know in the comments below. And a reminder, the review was fun or cool. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. Thus we come to Shoutouts. Again, I will remind you, it is August. Blackbraid, for some reason, released in August. I mean, I guess it doesn't have a label being like, don't do that. And if you're the one big release in August, it comes out pretty good for you. So I don't have a crazy amount of stuff. There's actually no black metal records I was a fan of coming out this week. I have a Black and Death record in Malthusian, The Summoning Bell on Relapse Records coming out today. And then I have death metal, Thorn, Nebulous, Womb of Eternity on Transcending, Obscurity also coming out today. So those are both cool. Like I said, welcome to August.